Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Eric Carlson here. Again, I'm running for Congress in the 1st Congressional District in Illinois. This is video 23 in my Problems and Solutions series, and this is actually the third part of my Why Would You Vote For Me series. So in this one, we're going to question, a lot of people have questioned, in the 1st District here in Illinois, can a Republican win? Most people would say flat out no, historically no. For over the last 90 years, it's been a Democrat seat. I think that can change. And I think it can change because the people of the 1st District are really starting to wake up to what has happened, the negative things that have happened to this country and their lives because of Democrat policies. And a few things I want to touch on is I hope people stop voting by looking at the D or the R next to someone's name. And I hope they start voting for policies. Now, we all see what happened with these policies of Joe Biden, all the increased spending that he tells you is going to be a build back better. Well, all they've done is print a lot of money and cause record high inflation, which has cost you across the board, the American people. And when they tell you that wages are rising, well, inflation is rising faster than wages. So actually, you're actually losing money. Everything that you had in savings, your dollar is now worth less. So that's another tax that they hit you with. Your savings are now worth less. So the money that you sweated for, the sweat of your brow that you put in the bank to save for your future is now worth less because of Democrat policies. Day one, when Biden got rid of the XL pipeline, and you saw from there out, we all predicted it, we all said it. You can go back and look at my videos before Joe Biden was elected. I said what was going to happen. Our oil prices were going to go through the roof. When oil and heating prices increase like that, fuel prices, everything that you have, everything that you buy at the store travels by truck. Therefore, everything that moves, it has to move from the producer to the store to your house. All these things cost money and when you tack on a couple dollars here, a couple dollars here, at the end of the line, it's you, the consumer, that winds up paying for it. It's Democrat policies, folks, and I could go. They're just wrong across the board on everything. If they weren't, things wouldn't be the way they are. Things would actually be working, but they don't. They have this pie in the sky idea that is not based in reality. It's not based on sound economic principles. So when you look at their policies, just look at the results. We can all see this. And this goes back to my biggest thing. The reason I'm running for this office is logic, reason, and common sense. We use it every day in our daily lives. You come out, you walk out your front door. Okay, you have to make decisions. All right, does this make sense? Does that make sense? You have to make those decisions. Well, the people at the top are not making the proper decisions. And why are they doing that? Because they don't live the same life as we do. They live in a bubble, and they think that it doesn't affect, they can do whatever they want. It's not going to affect them. And again, if you're a Democrat in the 1st District, you're expected to just show up and vote for whoever the Democrats give you, across the board. They draw the map specifically so a Republican cannot win. Well, this is your chance to actually send them a message. It's my belief that everyone in here, we're all from the Midwest, in the 1st District, Democrats and Republicans, I'm going to tell you we're conservative. Even the folks that vote Democrat for the last however long you've been alive, if you've been voting Democrat, this is not the same Democrat Party, the party of the working man. Ask yourself, look at the people the Democrats have up. Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, Dick Durbin. None of these people has ever actually worked a real job. Never gotten sweaty, never gotten their hands dirty, never come home exhausted from work. None of these people are working class people. When they tell you the Republican Party, they're going to tell you Democrats are going to say, oh, it's the party of the rich and the party of the wealthy. No, like I said, my take home was under $22,000 last year, running a nonprofit helping veterans. I did over 20 years in the construction trades. I know what work is. Unlike Lunch Bucket Joe Biden, they sold you. The media and the Democrat Party sold you. That's another thing, too, for black voters. They're going to tell you, if I happen to be the Republican nominee, they're going to tell you that, oh, he's white, so he can't possibly know Listen, I am the working class. I am the only working class candidate in this entire race. If you look at the Democrats on the other side, they're all college educated, lawyers, attorneys, politicians. Um, the only real person in this race is myself. I'm the only one that has a career record of work, military service. You got to stop looking at the Republican and Democrat. You have to look at the policies. So back to the conservatism. The families the voters in this district, in the first district, are conservatives, whether they realize it or not. They've been told for so long that Republicans, they just have that knee-jerk reaction. Somebody says Republican, oh, you're right away, you're bad. That's not it, folks. We're all in this together. Do you care about your family? Do you want better things for your family? Security for your family? Your individual liberties? Do you want to be left alone by the government to your own devices, to be able to worship as you will, be able to go to work, do what you want with your money, your legally gotten money? You want safe neighborhoods? Because the Democrats haven't been giving you those as much as they talk. I have plans for all this if you just let conservatives do it. Conservatives are problem solvers, people. Conservatives solve problems. Liberals complain about problems and then are mad at you because you're not also complaining about the problem. It's because we're busy trying to fix the problem. Quality education, huge. Quality education, but Democrats are beholden to teachers' unions. There should not be no union, private sector, public sector, should be allowed by law to give any money to any politician, period, across the board. That should not even weigh into anything. That's how you start to get the influence out of politics, this big money. Because these politicians are bought and paid for. They want their position. They'll take whatever donation money that they can be bribed with, because that's basically what it is, to get in that position so they can help their friends out and then they'll do whatever the donors tell them. I'm not asking for money. I'm not accepting money from any corporations, any businesses, any type of entity like that. If people want to give me $5 or $10, that's fine. But I'm not asking for any money, so I don't owe anybody anything. I am not beholden. I am not bought. I don't owe anybody jobs, favors, or anything else. That is not what you'll see. Whatever Democrat that they put up that comes out of the primary, they will be putting hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars behind that candidate to get them in there. Because ask yourself, just follow the money. Who's putting them in there? What type of favors are they getting? It's not for you. It's not for the everyday people. Cost of living. We all see this. Again, back to the fuel prices. Everything that we buy has gone up. And we have record high inflation because the Fed just keeps printing money. It's like they don't get it. You can't do this, folks. You will entirely collapse this economy if you keep going. If you think it's bad now, it can get 100 times worse if we don't stop this immediately. So again, black voters, why not vote Republican? Do you realize that the first black representative, Oscar DePriest, was the first black representative in the first district, and he was a Republican. So I don't know if it's that black people have been guilted into, look at black conservatives on TV or on social media or anything. What does the Democrat Party right away, what is their narrative towards a black conservative? Oh, Uncle Tom, race traitor, all this other stuff. No, that's just somebody who's woken up that they can't control anymore, who sees what this country has to offer for everyone and is not going to take the Democrat line of you can only get crumbs because you can only go so far. And the people telling you that are the same people with all these college degrees and the high-paying jobs. Those are the ones who are telling you that you can't advance anywhere. So it's a line of BS, people. It's all bullshit when they feed you that. You can be anything you want in this country. All it is about work, your individual freedoms, being allowed to do what you got to do, and proper policies to make the jobs and it economically possible for you to rise and everyone to rise together. Republican House. The Republicans are going to take back the House and the Senate in November. That's a foregone conclusion. So if you were to send a Democrat from the first district for the next 2 years, You send a Democrat there, they're not going to get anything passed, because any legislation that they try to bring to the floor, if it's not bipartisan, if they can't get Republicans on board with it, which means if they come up with these radical policies, it's not getting anywhere. I've seen some of the Democrat candidates putting reparations on their thing. That's to stir up debate. You're not getting reparations. The country's broke. We don't have any money. I don't. When they promise you that, it is a lie, folks. It is a lie. It's to get you to vote for them, and oh, they're fighting to get you a couple measly handful of dollars. No, it doesn't work. So the Republicans are going to control the House. If you send myself to Congress, you will have a representative in this district who is, number one, going to represent the entire district. I am going to take into account all the different needs in this district. And because the way the Democrats in Springfield drew the district, it is unfair to the people, because we are so spread out across 3 counties, from rural areas to inner city. People have different priorities. And when you have people with different priorities, it is very hard for one person to represent that many different priorities. Where if you had a tighter congressional district, if the districts were drawn as they should be constitutionally, concise and tight, you could have one person that could represent maybe 3 main points that the people in that area are worrying about. As it is, you're going to need 20 main points. But it doesn't mean that the people of the 1st District, the rural people down in Kankakee County or rural Will County or in the suburbs, have any different values than the people in the inner city. Everybody wants the same thing. It's just they have different priorities right now because of where they're living and what's hitting them harder. I would be a representative for the entire district. Now, historically, in the 1st District, you've had Bobby Rush for the last 30 years. Bobby Rush ignored most of the suburban and rural areas. Didn't care about them, didn't need them, because he didn't need them to get elected. That is voter suppression right there. When you draw a congressional map that 40, 50%, 45% of the people can never get an elected representative that they want, that they are voting for, elected, that is voter suppression because of the way the Democrats drew the map. So I would be a representative for the entire district because I can't do it without you. This district voted last time over 73% Democrat. Okay? 73% Democrat. So again, why would I want to run as a Republican? It's about the message, folks. It's about the message and what I can do and what I know I can do for this. It's about saving this country and, again, helping everyone. Not these games they play, this race baiting, and the Democrats always have to have a boogeyman and a bad guy that's coming to get you. They have to keep you in fear. They keep Democrat voters in fear that somebody's going to come and get them. Republicans, on the other hand, are like, no, you don't need to be afraid. Let's all work together and we'll all advance together. So don't live in fear. Don't live in fear. Come along with me. I'm going to get out there. I'm going to be speaking. I'm going to be doing a lot of in-person stuff and speaking to church groups and community groups. You can't be afraid. You got to start not looking at the D's and R's, looking at the policies. Logic, reason, and common sense, folks. That's how we get through this. We bring this back to Washington. If we get rid of all these career politicians, and again, one of my biggest things is term limits and congressional reform. We can't get the other stuff done until we get these career people out of there who just want to stay in power and benefit themselves and make money and help their crony friends. We have to take that money and the career politicians out. So that's what I'm asking you to do for 2 years. Send me. And again, I'm the only candidate that'll, number one, actually put legislation forward. Not just say I'm for term limits. I will put legislation forward as soon as I get there. And for the reform of Congress. And that'll be a separate video on all the points that need to change with your representatives in everything from compensation to benefits and everything else. All that stuff needs to go by the wayside. If you're truly going to be a public servant, you go to serve, not serve yourself. So that's it. Again, my name is Eric Carlson. You can check out my website at ericcarlson.forcongress.com. And I hope you'll support me. I hope I'm getting across to the people my message. It's got to stop with these career politicians, folks. Thank you.